myself. My name is CHUNIE GUTIERREZ Flores. I am the paternal first cousin of Marites, whose dad is the youngest brother of my dad. And by affinity, the niece of the indomitable and most gracious lady, whom you all know as the queen of Philippine cinema, Miss Gloria Romero, and whose life and legacy we are all celebrating this evening. Many of you have paid tribute to her and her lifelong achievements and her larger-than-life presence in the artistic field of cinema. No one can dispute this. But for us, the Gutierrez family, she was our Tita Gloria. With all due respect to the members of my family, my cousins present, incidentally we call ourselves the cousins. That, the generation of my parents, Marites' dad, country is not country, it's country. So kami cousins ngayon. And Marites is the youngest of that small group of cousins. I may claim the belief that I was Tita Gloria's favorite niece on the Gutierrez side of the family. Walang kukontra. I was asked to represent the family to pay tribute to Tita Gloria and share vignettes of our relationship with her. So where do I begin? First of all, I recognize her as to be the risk taker. You all know how she broke into the movie industry, leaving Pangasinan to become an actress, making a name for herself. That's a risk. With a reputation very well established, in later years, she took the biggest risk by marrying into the family. Marites, you know this. The men in our family, the Gutierrez family, were the biggest flirts and have broken many hearts. My Tito Wancho was no exception. Their excuse, they were all too good looking, and many fell for them. However, Tita Gloria had the biggest and an indestructible heart. It mended itself many times over. You all know their love story, and at the very end, they reconciled. What was most admirable about Tita Gloria was that she never said an unkind word about my uncle, and maintained a mutual respect with each other, even when they were off and on, as well as maintaining a harmonious relationship with her in-laws. When she married into the family, undoubtedly, Tito Wancho became the favorite son of my lola, of our lola. She was, as I said, bigger than life. In fact, she stood as my wedding sponsor when I got married. We particularly chose her not because she was an artista, but because she epitomized what true love and respect were in marriage. I would also like to add that she was a great factor to my becoming a beloved daughter-in-law to my husband's parents. To this day, when I am introduced to the relatives of my in-laws, I am known as the pamangkin of Gloria Romero. Forget everything else. If it weren't for my healthy self-esteem, I would have had an existential crisis by now, because I never had an identity with my in-laws, except I was the niece of Gloria Romero. That's how big of a star she was to my in-laws as well. Secondly, she was grace personified. Tita Gloria was known to be regal, gracious, soft-spoken, and serene. Many are known to have public and private personas, or having an alter ego, quite the opposite of the public image. But Tita Gloria was what you see is what you get. She was the real deal. And if she had the time, she was not, I'm too good for you. If she had the time, she would attend family gatherings and regale us with funny stories of her career, but always gracious. She would always call Iha Kam. That was her pet name, I think, for all her nieces, Iha. And it's a very old soul type of greeting for our generation. In the beginning, I was a bit starstruck, but I got to see a most down-to-earth and human side of her. And I don't know whether I should be telling this to you guys, but in one family gathering, we actually snuck out and she asked me for a stick of cigarette. She must have had a very pretty hard day at that time. There were still so many attributes of Tita Gloria that I would love and would have wanted to share, but no one can ever cover enough. There's never enough time to cover all these, attributes of Tita Gloria. But this I must discourse. Tita Gloria was selfless. She was selfless in her career, serving as an inspiration to many aspiring actors and actresses, mentoring them in the craft. In fact, a few of our cousins have tried following her in her footsteps. More than that, she made a mark in the industry at entertaining people with her exemplary portrayal of various characters, and she made people happy. She was selfless in her personal relationships, allowing us, her in-laws, to be in her life and foster a close relationship with her beloved daughter Marites and grandson Chris, despite the ups and downs of her life with Tito Wancho. We remain a closely knit family. All of you may have had, on varying levels, a personal relationship with Tita Gloria, and can very well attest to her generosity, her kindness, professionalism, and magnanimity. She was a selfless human being, sharing resources, time, and talent to whomever approached her. She was never obtrusive, never a diva. She never gossiped, try as much as we could to get her to spill the beans. And she was always kind, lavish in her compliments, gentle in her rebuke, and compassionate to a fault. I guess to sum it all up, she was one classy lady, worthy to be emulated, and was an iconoclast. We all looked up to her as our benchmark and role model. As such, Tita Gloria will be, in Marites' word, a tough act to follow. We are one with Marites and Chris in sadness as we bid Tita Gloria goodbye and Godspeed. But we are also awestruck knowing that the entire nation mourns with us. Take note, the entire nation. We don't see that every day. If that's not saying something, then what is? We will miss you, Tita Gloria, and we will always love you. Everybody have a good day.